I'm gonna teach you how to skip a jig without backlashing in 5 minutes. Bam! Ooh, Daddy, did you see that? How about that yellow shovel? Ooh, I hit it, you just couldn't hear it. Skipping a jig. The best place to practice skipping a jig is where, Mark? On concrete. Concrete, yeah, that's right, if you can't get out on the water. Thing is, you just spool your reel up with brand new Sunline, or whatever kind of line you use. And line, especially fluorocarbon, is expensive. When you blow it up, either you're gonna be good at getting knots out, or you're gonna be spending a lot of money on some line. Look at that skip right there, boy. Went right up underneath that dock. You gotta visualize it in your head. There's a dock here. There's a dock here. There's a floater right here. Well, you can't skip up underneath the floater, but you can skip underneath that dock right beside the floater. Look, right here. See right here? It's an overhanging branch. Watch this. I'm gonna get right up underneath it. See how I did that little hop? I call that the Kobe. Boom! And it hops up, goes right at the end. Now watch this. Because when you skip, you want to skip from the furthest out and then work your way into the juice. So right there, I just did that Kobe hop. All right, that's a skip. Now I skipped it right back there in the juice. Go right to the juice first. They might be on the outside of the dock or the tree or whatever. So you always want to target the outside points first, then go up in there, okay? Reason for this video is a lot of people try to skip and they, like I said, they blow up and this and that, so they get scared of it. They use spinning reels. I can skip a bait caster better than I can a spinning reel. Doesn't make sense, but I can. I mean, I'm out there for spinning reel and it's like kadoosh, 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 especially a shaky hit. Pisses me off a little bit, but it's just the way it is. Probably because I skip these more. Thing about skipping, what you want to do is start out with a jig that's going to be good to skip. This is a Ike's flip out jig. This is a 3/8 ounce, and I've got a D-bomb trailer on it. You can tell it's dirty because I've been back here practicing. Practice makes perfect. It's the only way you get in the Carnegie Hall. Another good jig that I would recommend for beginners. So this is an Arky head right here. This is probably the best jig to learn how to skip on because it's a flatter bottom right there, and it's just gonna sail right up underneath there. Arkies are good dock jigs. I like throwing missile jigs and I like throwing my own jigs, which is like the round ball ones that I make. Arkies are good. And then once you get the Arkies down, you can pretty much skip anything. Like football head, you can skip a football head jig, promise. But I'm gonna show you one little tip. And I said 5 minutes. I'm gonna teach you how to skip a jig without backlashing in 5 minutes, and this is how I'm gonna do it. All right, cut it. Tape. What you wanna do is get you a piece of tape. I recommend electric tape because it's kind of the same width as your spool, but I don't have any, so I'm using this white duct tape. And then I would cast out, that's probably good right there. I mean, that's a good 20 feet maybe. Does that look like 20 feet, Logan? Probably 20 feet. And then take that tape and put it right in the middle of your spool, just like that. Okay? Now, reel your line up. So that's a typical cast, like when you're skipping. I don't think you can be skipping like 50 foot, all right? Because I'm just gonna do a bad skip real quick and show you how it blows up. So I'm gonna skip on these. I'm gonna skip to that box right there. Uh-oh, I backlashed. But no, wait. I didn't, because I got a piece of tape right there. It's keeping my line from bushing out. Bush. And you can skip all day long and really get the feel of your bait caster and how to skip. And it's kind of like skipping rocks. You got to really get down and just let it glide across the water. Same way with the jig. One of the best places to practice is on a concrete floor. I know everybody has a concrete floor like this, but you can do it in your living room if you got slick floors. Don't do it on carpet. So I'm just gonna, see that? Now watch. Put it between my legs here, zoom in. There we go. So I'm just gonna pull out this backlash, like so. See, it only backlashes to the piece of tape. And I think that'll, oh look, I still have, see that? So that's the end of the backlash, is where I taped it. So you will not bother any of this line that's up underneath there. Neat little trick. And then you just want to reel your stuff back up. Here's another thing that I want to talk about, is like when you are setting up your reel for skipping. I like to use, I mean, this is a Denali N3 series. It's a 7-foot medium heavy. You want something with a little bit of tip. You don't want a real stiff rod, but yet you don't want a real bendy rod, like a medium weight rod. Medium heavy's perfect because it's got, you just don't want that skip to be like real solid. A little bit of tip in it. 7-foot rod. When I'm setting this up, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna back my, Mark, what's this called on the side?
Tension knob.
My spool tension knob right here. I've got it cranked all the way down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna gently just open it up, you know, by turning the knob counterclockwise until that jig. That might be a little too fast if you're starting out, okay? So you want it to barely fall, just like that. And then once you get it, that's probably good right there. That's a good fall rate. I mean, you want it a little loose, but once you get the hang of it, you can get it even looser and you'll be able to skip farther. People still get backlashes. I don't care if you're a pro, if you do it every day, people still get them. Doesn't matter. The brake side of the reel, this is a loose smash, you know, and it's got, you know, the tension knob on it. It's your magnetic brake right here, and it should have numbers like 0 to 10, 0 to 20, something like that. Go ahead and just crank it down. Crank it all the way down. Crank it as high as it'll go to start out with. This knob right here, your tension for your spool, puts more line out when you cast. This controls how much line comes out after you hit your target. So you want this all the way on for now. And like I said, once you get the hang of it, try backing it off a little bit at a time, and that way it's going to go even further. And another thing is, for me, and I've seen a lot of people do it too, they kind of control their skip with their thumb. Like as it's spooling out, you know, you can tap it just a little bit, or, you know, if you skip and you make a, you know, it goes not where you wanted it to go and hits a dock, you know, hit that spool and that'll keep you from backlashing. So always get in a habit on keeping that thumb really close to your spool so you don't freaking backlash. But you got that little handy dandy piece of tape right there that's going to keep you from doing it. Now, I wouldn't do it forever because, you know, it's kind of like training wheels. You know what I'm saying? After you get the hang of it, take it off. As far as like the, you know, the size jigs, like 1/2 ounce is always good to skip. You know, 3/8 is really good. Somewhere in between 3/8, 1/2 ounce, 5/16, 7/16. That's kind of what I fall between as far as when I'm skipping. Mostly 3/8 and, you know, 1/2 ounce. So a good chunk on the back of it helps it as well to keep it from like bulldogging right in the water. It kind of lifts it up a little bit. So I'm skipping with 18-pound Sunline shooter. And, you know, you want a line that's not going to have a lot of memory in it either. And that's pretty much it. That's just kind of like a quick little tip I thought about. Somebody was asking me not too long ago about skipping and backlashing and this and that. And like I said, if you go through these tips that I just gave you, I think it'll make you a better skipper. And the little tape trick, it will keep you from being scared to skip. Because a lot of people, like me, before I knew about it, I was real timid about skipping, and then I would mess up because I didn't have confidence in sliding it up underneath that dock. So take that little piece of advice right there, take that missile jig and cram it straight up. I hope you learned something, and we got to get back to work.